Set in the future, Katniss volunteers to take her younger sister's place in a nationally televised fight to the death.
I volunteer! I volunteer as tribute!
Along with her partner, the two are trained in combat in preparation for the battle. But they both must weigh their survival against their friendship and their humanity in the Hunger Games.
So there's a movie we've been looking forward to around here, and that is, of course, The Hunger Games.
Yay!
The movie adaptation, we've all just seen it. Now, I have read the first book by Suzanne Collins. I have not read the second two.
I've read all 3 books. I'm a huge fan, so I feel a little bit safer in the hands of our co-screenwriter, Suzanne Collins, who worked on this movie adaptation.
I, on the other hand, have not read any of the books.
You're lucky because you don't know the original source material, so you're not as protective over it as I am and possibly Sean may be.
Now, I'm going to ask you both this question and really honestly answer me. Did you ever feel like Katniss was in any real danger?
I never feel like anyone's in danger in a Hollywood movie. I think that's a trick question.
Okay. No, it's not, because, for example, John McClane in Die Hard, when he's in that scene picking the shards of glass out of his bloody feet, you really feel an emotional impact there. In this movie, other than when Katniss gets injured at the very beginning, she really doesn't show any physical suffering during this movie, and by the end of the movie, she doesn't look like she's put on any mileage.
Well, that's a weakness of the picture, and it needed a major scene like the scene you're talking about in Die Hard. I did get a sense of danger from the setup, which is the best part of the movie, where we set up the world and we have the names of the kids called at the reaping to where they have to represent their district in order to compete in these games. And I got the sense from those scenes what Suzanne Collins was trying to do in the book, which is to represent children having to deal with violence and death. The games themselves... No, I felt like they missed major opportunities with the games. It feels very rushed in that section, very glossed over, and something that Suzanne Collins deals with in her text is not dealt with in a way it should in the movie. And that's not only do you have to survive, not only is there the likelihood that you may die, there's also the likelihood that you may have to murder people in the arena. And the emotional imbalance that could be caused from something like that is not explored in this movie.
What I did enjoy about this film is that you didn't have to deal with schmaltzy teeny bopper love story throughout the majority of it until the final third. But it was interesting because you were just inundated with a potential love story between Peeta and Katniss in that final third, and it just seemed to come out of nowhere.
I never got the sense that the director, Gary Ross, had his heart in those scenes. It almost felt like he said, okay, we've got to get the teenage romance angle
let's
out.
get it out of the way.
Let's film those scenes.
How do you feel that Jennifer Lawrence did playing the lead role of Katniss?
This is about the best Katniss you could get. It's her best performance since she was nominated for an Oscar for Winter's Bone.
Winter's Bone.
I think she knocks it out of the park.
She was really perfect, and there were shots of her that were extreme close-up of her hunting. There were shots of her from the side, like really difficult camera angles to capture performance, and even that fraction of an image, you got something really great out of Jennifer Lawrence.
I'd like to talk about my favorite actor in the movie, and that's Josh Hutcherson. He brought a real fragility to the role of Peeta. He really embodies the physical pain of what he's going through, much more so than I think Katniss did.
He's in the best scene in the movie, too, where they're on the rooftop, and he's basically expressing the fact that if he's going to die, he wants to die in his own way. He doesn't want to be manipulated by the Capitol.
I just keep wishing that I could think of a way to show them that they don't own me. If I'm going to die, I want to still be me.
I do have to say, I was wrong. I was wrong.
About Cinna.
About Cinna. Yeah, I was so nervous about Lenny Kravitz. I called that on the preview episode, and I thought anyone could be better than Lenny Kravitz. And I was completely wrong, because he was perfect.
Spot on.
He was so great. He had the heart of the role. You could see a real connection between him and Katniss in the movie, and I was very impressed.
I'm sorry that this happened to you. I'm here to help you in any way that I can.
Most people just congratulate me.
Well, I don't see the point in that.
What doesn't normally work for me that worked for me this time was a very mobile camera and the fast cutting. What it alluded to for me was the actual modern day media. A lot of things are thrown in our face these days. We have a lot of reality TV. We're desensitized to the media. And I think that Gary Ross, our director, and Suzanne Collins are making an allusion to modern day media through their constant incorporation of the camera.
If I never see a shaky camera again in a movie, I will personally be very happy. And I know what director Gary Ross was trying to do. He was trying to put us in the action and people running through the woods with a shaky camera. But for me, it just became so obvious that I was like, okay, I'm watching a shaky camera now. And it actually took me out of the scenes a little bit. I'm curious to see how we vote here. Let's take our tickets.
There are a lot of missed opportunities in this adaptation of The Hunger Games that prevents it from being perfect. But there are enough seeds planted that certain fans will be starving for the next installment. So that's enough to warrant a marginal see it.
This is a visually stunning movie with a great cast, but it's lacking any real storytelling surprises. For fans of the books, it's a must-see. But for everyone else, I give it a stream it.
It's not everything you want it to be, but it's enough to entrance a fan for 2.5 hours. And for that, that's a see it.
Well, that's 2.5 tickets, which is a see it for The Hunger Games. Yay! And may the odds
be ever
in your favor. All right.
Salute.
Are we just too geeky for you?
I'm uncomfortable.